What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the almighty Friday Night Fight Talk. I don't know why I hyped that up so much. I'm your host, as per usual, the Notorious Jay, and welcome back. So, this is the last UFC card of the year. Ending it off with a pretty good one, UFC Tampa. At least we're not ending it off in the Apex, but we're sadly starting it off in it. I thought the Apex was supposed to be gone for a lot longer. Feels like yesterday I was talking about that thing getting nuked. So it came back a lot faster, but I'm hoping it doesn't look like just an absolute shithouse still. So we got UFC Tampa, and then we got actually nothing much else to talk about. I do want to say something now before the episode's done. I'm just wondering if for 2 weeks we have no UFC. Actually, it might even be 3. So I'm wondering if I even do the discussion episodes, and rather instead, what if I just do what I wanted to do, or I still want to do a like a holiday special or like a Christmas special. What that is a little different, but I kind of wanted to do that, whether it's like a cooking video or something like that. I've always wanted to do that. Doesn't matter to me. But if you guys have watched that, just leave it in like the Spotify, YouTube, fucking verdict comments, whatever, and I'll do one. I got plenty of time before the holidays, before Christmas, stuff like that. So I'll definitely put some effort into it. So yeah, let's get into the picks. I'm not hitting you from the fucking parking lot of Popeyes today. I didn't even get Popeyes, but I got my drink. So that's all that matters. So, let's see. So we got Covington versus Buckley. Okay, so kicking it off on the card, oh, fuck. I sure didn't miss this shit. We got a women's fight. Forgot the last card really had no women's fights. That was a pretty good card. Little surprise Shavkat went to a decision, though. I think everyone was. And Ian Gary's fucking short ripped open. Maybe Layla's boyfriend cut it open. I don't know. We got Josephine Knutson. I'm saying Knutson. Versus Piera Rodriguez. I think that's how you say it. So, both of them, obviously, unranked women's straw rates. One of them has a huge decision rate. One of them has a slightly positive knockout rate. So, 2 people I really don't give a shit about. One of them got beaten by a Canadian, so that is not bad. I'm just going to flip the coin on this one. We'll say Josephine Knutson. I don't even know how to say her name. Just it sounds like nuts in it, and that's funny. Yeah, I really don't know on this one, honestly. I could not care enough about either of their careers. But yeah. Okay. Moving on. We got Davy Grant versus Ramon Tavares. I don't know why I had to emphasize the Ramon. So Davy Grant, he is a very big grappler. He lost to, what's-his-face? The guy fighting, what's-his-face? Why did I say that differently? He fought to, that's who it is. Yeah, Daniel Marcos. He lost him in his last fight, I believe. He's still not horrible. He racked together that win over Rafael Asuncao. I still don't know how to say his name. Asuncao? I have no idea. He got a win over him. But then he lost a split decision last year, and now he's back in the last card of this year. And then we got Ramon Tavares. He was on 297 and beat a Ukrainian Canadian, so literally just me. He beat me up. Beat me up pretty good. But he's only had one fight in the UFC, and I really don't believe that he's up to the skill of Davy Grant. I'm going to pick Davy Grant, but I am going to pick him by a decision. I know he does get, like, frequently decisions, and he usually loses decisions. Most of the time, if he wins, it's by a finish. I'm going to say this is going to be a decision for him. I don't think it'll be easy, but I do think he will win it. He'll come out on top. Next up, I don't even need to say who I think is going to win this. I just need to say what country they're from. We got Miranda Maverick. I swear she was ranked at flyweight. She might have been like number 15, but I swear she was ranked. We got Miranda Maverick versus Jamie Lynn Horth. Anyone know what country Jamie Lynn Horth is from? Any idea? Any semblance? No? Starts with a C. I'll give you a hint. Rhymes with Schmanada. No clue. Anyways, I'm picking Jamie Lynn Horth by decision. That might be an unpopular pick, but it is what I'm picking. So, yeah, Jamie Lynn Horth by decision. Next up, we got Miles Johns versus Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima had an incredible debut this year on the UFC Saudi Arabia card, coming on very short notice, and subbed Naimov in the third round. Very good submission as well. Genuinely one of the best debuts from this year. Might be the debut of the year, in my opinion. Had a huge win over him. Miles Johns was scheduled to face Cody Garbrandt not that long ago, and that was booked for a while too. It sucks that fight didn't happen, but yeah, he had that win. He's been on a bit of a win streak. Genuinely, he's pretty good, but who do I think is going to win this? Miles Johns, he's really good, but Felipe Lima, what I saw in that debut, I know I'm saying this because I don't like talking about debut guys as if they're like the cream of the crop. They're the fucking holy messiah. I don't know what to say. I really think Lima is the guy. I think he's really good. I'm picking Felipe Lima by submission in the third round again. I'm picking him by that same way he finished Naimov. Exact same way. It was a really good debut, and I think it's going to happen the same way this time. Especially since it's not exactly short notice. Like, they had time to prepare. That fight night was a little while ago. But Miles Johns is also going up a division as well. Next up, in my opinion, this fight shouldn't be happening. Just my general opinion, this fight shouldn't happen. We got Sean Woodson versus Fernando Padilla. So Sean Woodson had his last win over Alex Caceres. Granted, bit of a robbery. But I honestly think at this point, for how good Sean Woodson's been doing, and especially since he beat someone who was just in the rankings, I don't see why he's not getting a ranked opponent, in my opinion. Like, he should be getting like an Edson Barboza. I get Edson Barboza's meant to fight Steve Garcia now, but he really should be getting someone ranked, rather not Fernando Padilla. And speaking of Fernando Padilla, he's not too excellent. He had that win over Pajuelo. I don't know how the fuck to say his name. But he also lost to Kyle Nelson before that. And he's only had 3 fights in the UFC. And if you're losing to Kyle Nelson, I love Kyle Nelson, but he hasn't been in the rankings yet. And granted, I would have picked him to beat Calvin Kattar, but I also would have picked him to beat fucking Ilia Topuria, all right? So take my fucking judgment as a little bit of a bias, or with a little bit of a grain of salt. I don't know what the fuck to say. My brain's failing right now. Grain of salt. There we go. I'm going to pick Sean Woodson by decision. I don't think he'll finish him. He didn't finish Alex Caceres. He is not notorious for his finishes. I don't think. He had his last win over, what's-his-face? Before the Caceres, that was Charles Jourdain he beat. And that's when they raised Jourdain's hand, like, oh my god, I won. And then they were like, shit, wrong person. And they flipped the switch. Next up, this should not be on the prelims, in my opinion. This next fight, I think this should be up on the main card. Sorry, just had a drink. We got lightweight. We got Yoel Alvarez versus Drakkar Klose. Again, another guy I think should be getting a ranked opponent, Yoel Alvarez. And even there's a bit of an argument that you could say Drakkar Klose. He's been on a bit of a win streak. Done really good lately. He definitely could break into the rankings. Apparently, he was supposed to fight, what's-his-face? Dan Hooker on 305. Glad he got to fight Gamrot, because now Dan Hooker's in the top 5 again. So we got Yoel Alvarez, Drakkar Klose. This is a good fight, man. I really like this fight. Yoel Alvarez was out for a while before the Brenner fight. And before that, he also fought Arman Tsarukyan and ended up losing. So now that he deserves a ranked opponent, and also, not to mention, apparently he's going up to 170 after this, which I don't really like the idea of. If you can't make the cut, you can't make the cut. That's fair. But if you're going up to 170 just because you think you do better there, why do that in a decision where you already have stated or like shown that you deserve a ranked opponent? And then we have Drakkar Klose. Still, he's really good. He is really good. But I gotta say, Yoel Alvarez is probably gonna KO him. Yoel Alvarez has looked unreal at flyweight. So with that being said, I'm going to pick Yoel Alvarez by late TKO. I'm going to say round 3 TKO for Yoel Alvarez. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good fight. I like this fight a lot. Next up, prelim headliner. Again, I don't think this should be on the prelims. We got Michael Johnson versus Ottoman Azaitar. Fuck. I don't know how to say that. I won't lie, Michael Johnson, the fight I want him to have most, I want to see him fight Jai Herbert. I think that'd be a fun fight. I think that's underrated. A lot of people I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that. But Ottoman Azaitar, it's not like he's bad. He had one of his only losses to he's on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost to Prado and he lost to Matt Frevola. Before that, he's beaten most of his opponents. But he's also coming off a long layoff, and he's been on a losing streak since that long layoff. So it's tough to say. And he's also lost to some really good lightweights. So, and then we got Michael Johnson over here, all-time great. He's a legend of lightweight. Fought Khabib all that time ago, and he's just been around forever. You know, somehow lost to Clay Guida. Fought Josh Emmett. Oh, scary. Artem Lobov. That was funny. He and also has a win over Dustin Poirier, which is weird to say. So yeah, really great. Just lightweight division has gotten really competitive since then. Also has a win over Tony Ferguson now that I think about it. So who am I picking here? I'm gonna pick Michael Johnson by decision, obviously. Obviously. He's not known for finishing people. He has 11 out of 23. That's an under 50% finish rate. But the fights he puts on are always great. And he usually can win out a decision. I know he's really close to an even record. Almost a losing record. But I have liked what I've seen out of him recently in his last fight. And I think he'll win this pretty confidently. Next up, we got Navajo Sterling versus Tuco Tokos. Man, your parents must hate you. I'm kidding. So Umar Sy last fought Tokos. I forget what card that was on. I think it was on an Apex card. Yeah, the Sadiq Youssef, or not Sadiq Youssef, Barboza versus Lauro Murphy one. And Navajo Sterling, huge betting favorite on this card. Also making his debut from the Contender Series. Man, he is super good. And I don't even know what to say. He's had 1 decision in his whole career out of 5 fights. 4 of those have come by knockout, 2 of them being in the first round. I'm going to say Navajo Sterling gets another first-round TKO on Tuco Tokos here. Got submitted by Umar Sy very quickly. And I see no reason why Navajo Sterling can't get the win on this one. Next up. We got bantamweight. We got Adrian Yanez versus Daniel Marcos. Adrian Yanez is taking this fight, so he doesn't have to fight Peyton Talbot. Because he's very scared of that one, I would imagine. I mean, I would be too. Oof. Adrian Yanez kind of got fraud checked by Martinez and Rob Font. Tried to make it in the rankings. I forget if he was ranked or not. Tried to make it in. Ended up just getting fizzled out. And now he's fighting Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos, he is undefeated. Beat everyone he beat. He beat Davey Grant. I forget the guy's name. I can't say it properly. But he was on the Sphere card. Aorkiling, I think. And he also beat, in his last fight, he won a decision against Casandetta, I think his name was. So looked really good. recently. And who am I picking to win this? He's fought really good competition, or decent competition, especially for bantamweight. And I'm going to say, this is a tough one to predict. I'm going to say Daniel Marcos wins a decision. I don't think he'll finish him. He's got a 50-50 finish rate. Adrian Yanez has an over-positive finish rate. But from what I've seen out of Adrian Yanez recently and from what I've seen out of Marcos recently, I am picking Marcos. I think he's done a lot better recently. Next up, we got a really good fight here. Two people that tried to break into the rankings not that long ago. We got Vitor Petrino and Dustin Jacoby. I think this is a fight probably for like a ranking spot. Like whoever wins this fight will probably get a ranking spot somehow. So Vitor Petrino was actually ranked at light heavyweight. He was ranked number 15, I believe. I think he was number 15. And in his last fight, he got subbed by Anthony Smith in that crazy guillotine. No one was expecting that. That was a huge upset. Everyone was expecting Petrino to destroy Anthony Smith, and Smith destroyed him. He subbed him in the first round. Like, that was wild. But Petrino was on a hot streak. He retired Tyson Pedro, beat Bukowskis, Praxnio. He's kind of fought bums, but he is good. I see a lot of skill in him. And then we got Dustin Jacoby, former ranked, and I would say got robbed by Khalil Roundtree. I thought he beat Khalil Roundtree all those years ago. But in his last fight, he got KO'd by Dominic Reyes in that comeback fight, and then he lost a decision to, why am I blanking on his name? Alonzo Menifield. But he's also beat people like Kennedy Neshwuku, or I fucking can't say his name, and lost to Azamat Mirzakhanov. So he's really lost against a high-level competition. But who do I think is going to win this? Both these guys are strikers. This fight probably has no chance to go to the ground. I think this is going to end in a finish. I'm going to say Vitor Petrino KOs him in the second. He's got a good finish rate. He's got a lot of power. Very good striker. But the same thing can be said about, let me restart, dude. Same thing can be said about Dustin Jacoby. He definitely could win this fight in the exact same way. But I haven't really seen Vitor Petrino's chin get tested before is the thing. He only got subbed that one time. So, with that, yeah, I'm going to pick Vitor Petrino to win by KO in the second round. Next up, we got flyweight. I can't believe this was on the prelims earlier on. We got Manel Kape and we got Bruno Silva. Flyweight Bruno Silva. So, Manel Kape had that boring-ass fight with Muhammad Makayev. Jesus Christ, that was boring. But he also did KO Kai Asakura all those years ago. But he did also, I believe he also got KO'd by Asakura. And Bruno Silva also KO'd Cody Durden in his last fight. Just broke into the rankings not that long ago. But yeah, this is a tough one to predict again. But I'm going to go with Manel Kape. Manel Kape probably by second round KO. He's a really good striker. I think he's really good for flyweight. But at the same time, you could see another boring decision. I hope not. But I have a feeling he can chip Bruno Silva. Now, as for having a solid chin at flyweight, you need it. Look at Matt Schnell. He keeps getting KO'd, and he is now retired. But I think Manel Kape could KO him. Manel Kape hits pretty hard for flyweight. And he could really test Bruno Silva's chin. I could also see him winning a decision. So next up, we got co-main. We got Cub Swanson versus Billy Q. Cub Swanson, he's getting pretty old now. He's getting up there in age. He had a very close fight with Andre Philly at UFC 303. But then he also beat Hakeem Dawodu. But he's also lost people like Jonathan Martinez, Giga Chikadze. But Billy Quarantillo, I have no idea how to say it. He lost his last fight to Yusuf Zalal. He got subbed. But he's beat people like Damon Jackson. So it's tough to say who wins this one. Both these guys are good. The main thing here is with age. Cub Swanson is really old now. So it's tough to say how good he's going to do with all his age. I am going to say Cub Swanson wins a decision, though. I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of people are really underestimating him in this fight. We could see him retire, win or lose. I don't think so, but age is definitely a factor into this one. And now, in the main event, Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Now, I will say, I think a lot of people are underestimating Colby Covington in this one. His cardio is great. Wrestling is really good. But at the same time, we've seen these same things out of Joaquin Buckley. Now, granted, Buckley hasn't had to go the full 5 rounds, but he's been training for this for a bit. And this is a little short notice for Colby. However, I am going to pick Joaquin Buckley by a decision. I have to be confident in the fact that he can go the full 5, because we haven't seen that yet. This is his first 5-rounder, but I believe he can pull it off. I think he can pull it off. I haven't really seen his cardio tested yet, and Buckley hits hard, man. I don't think he'll KO him like Kamaru Usman. I don't think he'll break his jaw, but it'll definitely be good. I think it'll be a good fight. He'll do really good. I think this will be a good performance to him. Get him way up in the rankings. And he's looked so good at welterweight. And I don't think Colby Covington's going to be the person to take that. Oh, he's getting up there in age a little. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Colby's going to do on this. I saw a post the other day. It was a couple casuals talking about who should move divisions. And I saw Colby. Some people say Colby should go up to 185. That is the worst take I've ever heard. Colby fights at his natural weight. He doesn't really cut much. Like, if anything, I think it would be easier for Colby to go down, if anything. Like, is that just me? Would it not be easier for him to go down? Anyways. Yeah, that's it. That's my picks for this weekend. Now, we got some Q&A to do. Let's see. Last week, I thought this is 3-piece. I forgot to say that part. Last week, I thought Nate the Train was going to get it done. I agree. Choi had a great fight. Choi had an absolute masterclass last week. I think Choi did amazing. I was really surprised, especially with layoffs in Korean fighters. Like we saw it with Korean Zombie too. He had to come back as well. Layoffs for the military are always crazy with Korean fighters. And him coming back from that as well, it just shows how good he is. I think we're probably going to see him get a ranked opponent next. As to who, I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure. If I look at the rankings right now, actually, I also need to know if they've been updated, because the UFC themselves haven't even updated these rankings. Okay, yes, they have updated them finally. Dear Lord, took them a bit. Okay, so we're looking at featherweight here. I think Doohoo Choi can probably get that fight with Bryce Mitchell. He called him out too. I think Bryce Mitchell probably deserves to still fight down in the rankings. I could see Dan Ige as well for Doohoo Choi. But I'd probably say Bryce Mitchell, especially since he called him out. Crone is horrible enough said, yeah. Man, Crone sucks. I can't believe Bryce Mitchell technically got a KO. You know you're doing something wrong when Bryce Mitchell can KO you. I know it was a slam. And I was kind of wondering if he was going to get a sub. He looked really good in that fight. Crone Gracie, why did he get a ranked opponent? Like, honestly, he shouldn't even be in the UFC. The only reason he got that fight is because his name is Gracie. That's it. Usually grappling heavy fights are not constant, but Evloev Sterling was amazing. Yeah, it wasn't a bad fight. I was actually very surprised. I wouldn't say it was the best fight, but I will say I think Aljo won. I straight up thought Aljo won. Evloev, it was a close fight. Don't get me wrong, it was a close fight, but I thought Aljo won. I really did. Constant exchanges, and I would have liked 2 more rounds of that. You made a mistake there, 3-piece. I think Aljo should have been the winner. Yes, I agree. Oh, another robbery later on the card. You reminded me here. Volkov won that fight. Something has to be done about judging. The judging has been horrible this year. If we see another robbery this weekend, that's gonna hurt to see. But we need to do something about that. Especially since Volkov definitely won that fight. He definitely won that fight. I was really surprised because I even picked Gone. I picked Gone, and I was like, man, he did not win that. And then they announced his name, and he just walked out of there. I was like, fuck, he lost that fight. Get out of there. Nothing to do with Gone, though. I can't throw hate his way because he didn't do anything wrong. Just, man, he didn't win that fight, and he's probably going to get a title shot against Tom Aspinall. But the thing is that he's going to be out. He has 3 full broken toes, which is really bad. That's a bad injury. 1 broken toe you can deal with. 3, that's a little rough. You need those extra ones for support. And with broken toes, or multiple broken toes, it's really tough to train. I would know from experience. If you break like your hand or something, it's fine. Just don't punch with that hand. I've done it before, actually. I broke my hand once, and I was out for 3 months, and I still trained. And I think that's why my kicks are so good. I credit that to my kicks. I just mainly trained kicks. It was amazing. And then, let's see. So glad Ian/Layla got the L. I have said this many times. Pantoja is the real deal. Yes, he needs more respect. Let's see. And needs to be up a few more spots on pound for pound ranking, even though they're meaningless, lol. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Pantoja's top 5 pound for pound. I'd put him at number 4 now. Like, he's one of the only champions with 3 title defenses right now. The only other one is Pereira, I think. Wait, let me think. Jamal, Yuri, Roundtree. Yeah, 3. So he's tied with Alex right now. Looked really good as of late. And I don't know how he's not like pound for pound like number 4. Even Islam doesn't have that many defense, or he does. I think he's tied. What else? Let's see. Okay. Why am I saying so much? Needs more respect, blah, 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 blah. This week, what is your sleeper fight, and who is your sleeper fighter? I have Swanson Billy, Q, fight of the night. That's a good fight. Expecting a great performance from Sean Woodson. I think a good performance is going to be Yoel Alvarez. But also, good performance, I think that it's probably going to be Cub Swanson. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think that's going to be a really good fight. Also, Colby and Buckley could be a really good fight, too. How do you think the Maverick-Horth fight plays out? I don't care either of them. I'm probably going to watch it just because it has a Canadian in it. But by watch, I mean I'll have it on in the background while I do something else real quick. I'll probably just... I might play Tetris on my phone for a minute. How do you think Aljamain's brother Navajo performs in his debut? Is that his brother? Wait, what? No. Completely different skin color. Hold on. Is Navajo Sterling Aljo's brother? Oh, I'm not finding any results. Navajo Sterling. Let's look that one up. Nah, there's no way that's Aljo's brother. You're just joking with me. Right? Yeah, no. All I find when I look up Navajo Sterling brother is like some bracelets or some shit. Don't scare me like that, 3-piece. I think he's going to do great. He looked really good on the Contender Series. I don't see why he's not going to do great in the UFC, especially against someone like Tukos. Bit of a bum. Buckley is really coming on, and Colby hasn't won in almost 2 years. I got Buckley taking it by broken jaw. I don't say broken jaw, but it'll be a pretty good decision. It's weird to say that Colby hasn't won in almost 2 years, because he fights like once a year, and waited like a year for a title shot. And then now he's fighting Buckley in a main event. If he wins this will be his 1 win over an active UFC fighter, I think. Or no, sorry, active ranked UFC fighter. And let's see. Wish me luck heading up to this this weekend. Soo? S-O-O? I'm going to assume that means Canada. Snow? I don't know why I'm blanking on that, because it's probably a Canadian term, and I'm forgetting it. Jesus. He's going to listen to this, and he's just going to be, like, bashing me. Call me a disappointment to our country. this weekend. They just got like 4 feet of snow. Gonna have it watch the fights in an igloo up there somewhere. Cheers. SOO. Do you mean like Northwestern Territories? SOO Canada? Oh shit, Sault Ste. Marie. Oh goddamn. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh wow, yeah. I've only been up there once, but it was when I was moving up my sister to Calgary, which is like on the west side of the country if you're not from Canada. I was there once. It's a huge drive. It's like a 4-hour drive. And when I was there, they had a shitload of snow, and we had to scrape off our windows. So my brother-in-law just used his credit card. I think that's like the go, but we had a scraper too. That's my one memory from Sault Ste. Marie. It was cold as shit there. I didn't know shit was cold. It's actually quite warm. But yeah, that was a memory from up there. So yeah, that's about the episode. That's about it. Don't got much time up for anything else. Again, just another episode from the car, man. Yeah. Thank you for listening once again. If you guys want a holiday special, because I'll gladly do it, please say something on Verdicts, say something in the YouTube comments, anything like that. I will make one 100%. As to what I'll make, I don't know. Kind of want to make food. As to what food I make, that also I don't know. But we could do DC impressions as a group together and just enjoy good food for once. And you get to see me on the camera probably. So yeah, that's about it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching another episode, or listening to, I guess. And yeah, I guess I'll just see you guys in the next episode. I don't feel like dragging this one on for another 3 minutes. We don't really need to reach the 35-minute mark. I feel like good quality episodes is better than longer episodes. That's just me. But thank you. Again, I feel like I've said that 3 times. I'll see you next week.